Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Gamestack Podcast right here on We Just Love Games Network. This is episode 90, our 90th episode, and it's a special episode today because today we're talking about E3, which just wrapped up. The E3 2021 conference just finished. It was a historic anomaly once again because of COVID-19. So everything was online and digital. Hopefully next year we will have Shalene calling in again from, random places throughout the convention center. Hello, Shalene. How are you?
Hello. I'm here. I have arrived. I'm here today.
She's here. She's arrived. And Rick, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Yes. Yeah, it was a busy week. I don't know. It was crazy. I had crazy deadlines and deadlines that I didn't even know that I had. So then I was really freaking out because they were like, this was due yesterday. And I was like, what? I didn't even know about that. So yeah, it was a busy week. It was a little bit stressful. But welcome everybody who's coming into our chat and listening and watching live. Pull up a chair, pull up a beverage, make yourself comfortable. We've got a special show for you tonight. Before we get into that, I just want to mention that the show is sponsored by Oak & Crow Coffee. Every $2 from every purchase of coffee beans of the We Just Love Games Way Tenango blend goes to the Children's Miracle Network. And you can purchase a bag of our blend over at oakandcrow.com. It is fantastic coffee. We've had pretty good reviews, or Oak & Crow has had really good reviews about that blend. So if you'd like to try it out, go head on over to there and pick yourself up a bag. Don't forget, you can host us on Twitch. Tell your friends about the show and like and subscribe to our shows. We're on various platforms. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and other various streaming platforms. We do have a 5-star review shout out. Yeah, and I do. This one is it's from a while back, but we haven't mentioned it, so I wanted to share it on the show. Rick, do you want to read through it for us?
Sure. This person says, I've been listening to this podcast for a long time, and I've always have the good. And I always have the good intention to write a review for it, and I keep forgetting. But I felt like now is the appropriate time to finally get around to writing it. This podcast is one of those ones I listen to at work because it makes the monotonous data entry work that I do much more bearable. The chemistry between the hosts is incredible. I can't make it through an episode of the show without busting a gut laughing. In case in point, I was listening to the most recent episode while at work on my shiny pink iPod Shuffle circa 2007, not because I'm a hipster, but because my job doesn't allow us to have MP3 players with screens. Since you were curious about how listeners listen to the podcast. And maybe it was the lack of sleep the night before. More likely it's the shenanigans of the host, but I wasn't able to hold my laughter in, guys. I was in tears. I was scolded in a good nature by my supervisor. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you all. Please keep up the amazing work. Oh, and Defender, Phase 10 by far my favorite card game.
Oh my God.
Playing it with my family, and it's always the most fun. Thank you so much for the entertaining, delightful podcast, Sarah Saylor.
I forgot we talked about that. Yeah, Sarah Saylor. If for the listeners, if you guys don't know who Sarah Saylor is, she's one of the dames on the Dames Who Game podcast with Shalene. So how can people find the Dames podcast, Shalene?
You can find the Dames Who Game podcast by putting Dames Who Game into your podcast aggregate of choice, and there will be. It's a lovely show featuring myself and some really, really wonderful ladies.
And hopefully we will have the Dames back on Gamestack
yes,
real soon.
There have been some rumblings of another Gamestack.
Ooh, really? Okay. I accept. I approve. Yes.
I love Gamestack episodes. They're pure chaos.
Oh, they're great. It's like 8 people all talking at once and laughing, and it's just so much fun. We do have some, speaking of people and more people coming in, we have some people in the Discord, some new people in the Discord. Shalene, do you want to run us through that list?
Yes, we've got Yinjin. I'm going to go with Yinjin. And Survival Games, Lightning Strike 700 back from the Corner of Shame. I didn't know that we still had a Corner of Shame. I thought when EchoBot died, the Corner of Shame died with it.
He
I
might
don't
have got.
know.
He
But
might have got
welcome back,
booted.
Lightning Strike. Welcome back.
Maybe there's some echoes from the EchoBot left over. Or
If
maybe
you would-
maybe Rick did a thing and
Maybe.
changed the bot on us, and it.
I feel like Rick is using the bot to troll me, because
What?
every time that I want a nice relaxing space gif and I put in the dot space command, and I want like some nice stars or a nice galaxy, some nice celestial scenes, all I get is like weird stuff, like very, very tangentially space related weird stuff. So I think that Rick has asked the bot to please troll me when I request things.
Well, I think Gauze also brings up a good point, because they said, I've never seen Rick and the bot in the same room together.
Suspicious, very suspicious.
Right?
I thought about doing like a fun little trolley situation where I would have a random like list of really odd words that you would just get booted from the server. like you type in apple cart and all of a sudden, boop, you get a message and it's like you're gone.
No
What?
saying apple cart.
Just like these weird like trigger words that would get you booted.
That's great.
But I think they mentioned in the lobby Lightning Strike that they didn't realize they were out of the server for a while.
Yeah, they didn't. And I just attribute, like, anybody who leaves and comes back accidentally, it automatically is coming from the Corner of Shame. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
They may be the last remnants of EchoBot fiasco.
Yeah.
The wrath of EchoBot.
So how can people get into the Discord?
It's very easy, actually. If you're watching on Twitch, you can just scroll right down below us and click that link, and it'll take you right to our Discord. You'll be
nice.
joined up. It's wonderful. That link is there even if we aren't live. So you can go to twitch.tv/We Just Love Games any time of the day or night and find that link. Alternately, if you somehow do not have the ability to access twitch.tv, you can just send any of us a message on social media and we will shoot you the link.
Yeah, it's been a pretty active week in the Discord. The lobby's been really busy, as well as the Companions channel, which is really nice.
Can we talk about Titanic's fish?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it.
They're so cute. I love the fish. Yes, I really like fish. I've always loved aquariums and looking at fish. And RMS Titanic posted a photo of his fish tank. I requested to see the fish. So he has obliged. And we got some close-up photos of the fish. They are excellent fish.
I am disappointed that he does not have a Titanic ornament in his fish tank.
I keep messing with him like in different lobbies. He'll say something like along the lines of like, "Oh, that really got sunk" or something, and then I'll be like, I forget what I said, but he said something like, "I was trying to avoid something the other day," and I said, "The only thing you managed to avoid was New York." I was very pleased with that joke.
Good,
It was so
job.
good.
Dad Rick for the win.
I just love the fact that his name is RMS Titanic.
That's
I
great. I love the staying in character. It's fantastic. Anyways, we do have a show tonight. So you know, if you're still here, stick
After
by.
Fish Stack.
Yeah, fish stack. It's brilliant.
Sticks.
Oh gosh. We're actually wiping the slate clean on the show notes docket today, and we're talking about E3. It's an E3 recap episode, so if you haven't got your E3 fix and you haven't talked about or heard about all of the things that happened this week at E3, we're going to talk about it tonight. So how we're going to do it is I'm going to go through E3 by days. Rick and Shalene did attend the Xbox Bethesda Game Showcase, and they streamed it. So if you did miss that, check back on our video history. You'll be able to find that there.
It was a fun time.
I'm going to go through the days, and we're just going to cover the major companies. So day one will include Ubisoft, day two Bethesda and Microsoft, as well as Square Enix and the PC Gaming Show. Day 3 will include Take-Two Interactive and Capcom. And then we'll cap off Day 4 with Nintendo, Bandai Namco, and the E3 Awards show. Sounds good? And then, of course, we'll talk about our gameplay as well, because, yes, we must. But this just in.
Also, by the way, I like how you didn't really warn us that we went live in the middle of the intro. Shalene's like, he has really nice fish.
We were live?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, we were.
What are you talking?
Oh, dear.
What are you talking about?
When we went live.
Who has what?
It was really quiet, and I was talking about Titanic's fish.
Yeah.
Apparently, we were live.
Yeah, you had just started us live with the intro music because I looked over and I saw the green square.
Oh.
Shalene just out of nowhere goes, he's got really nice fish.
I'm gonna have to listen. I'm gonna have to listen back to that because.
Geez.
Well, I asked you guys. I said, "Are you ready to?" I said, "Are you ready to go?" And you guys nodded, and so I just went.
Yeah, and like I was about to say something really awful. And then I looked over and I saw we were live, and I was like, I'm so glad I looked. Because it would have been really weird.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, but the last episode of Gamestack, I actually started the show a little bit early while we were talking about our favorite movies. So it was super candid, and it was awesome. And yes, so of course, if it was bad, I would have told you to just remove that part. But anyways,
I thought you were up to something over there.
Let's talk about Ubisoft. So Ubisoft was featured on day 1 of E3. Of course, the event is come and gone, but you know, you can stick around and hear about all of our musings of what happened at Ubisoft Forward. And if you're interested, you can also catch the E3 June 12 full pre-show on the Ubisoft website. But here's some of the games that they announced. So they announced Rainbow Six Extraction, which was formerly known as Rainbow Six Quarantine, but it made its game play.
I wonder why they changed that name.
Right?
I didn't even think about that, actually.
They made their debut at the Ubisoft Forward conference, and yeah, the development of this game was led by Ubisoft Montreal. And it's a PvE co-op experience where you and up to 2 other players can form a squad composed of Rainbow Six operators who have joined Ash, Mira, and Thermite to form the new Rainbow Exogenous Analysis and Containment Team, aka REACT. Any comments about Rainbow Six Siege, or should I just keep going?
I don't know who asked for this particular game.
I feel like they're going for a Division vibe, but it's not. I'm not feeling it, Rick.
No,
I'm not feeling it.
I'm not either. Like, I get Siege. Like, I get why everyone plays Siege. I get the very high energy or high intensity, like, PvP aspect of it. I don't understand what the angle is on this one. So, I mean,
well,
if
that one doesn't strike at your heartstrings, maybe this next one will. Rocksmith.
Nice.
Rocksmith Plus, a Ubisoft original, was announced at Ubisoft Forward. And this is a new subscription-based service that teaches users how to play electric and acoustic guitar and bass through their favorite songs. It will be available this summer on PC, fall on console, and to be announced on mobile. More information on that coming. Mm-hmm.
Now, this is cool. I was going to say, this is cool because we haven't seen a lot as far as rhythm gaming is concerned. I mean, we had that, like, really wonderful period of, like, Guitar Hero and Rock Band games. And I think
in the mid-2000s, it was such a thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I may or may not have been in a Guitar Hero competition at one point.
Yes, you've mentioned that several times.
So so all I'm saying is, like, it was really popular. And I know Rocksmith was touted in, like, some music magazines back then, and it kind of flew under the radar. So I'm glad to see that something like this is coming back. Especially, I feel like it's 6 months too late. Like, if it was last year when this came out, this thing would have been So popular.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have been like, yes, I'll pick up an instrument
Yeah.
during quarantine.
So users can use any real guitar or bass, and for the first time ever, you can even play with an acoustic guitar using the Rocksmith Plus Connect mobile app. And this offers a phone as mic technology, so you can pair it with your mobile device or with your PC or console, and the onboard microphone can track your guitar. So you play with no additional gear that is needed, which is really nice. And it was developed by Ubisoft San Francisco studio, and it is primarily focused at guitar learning. And targeting those audiences around learning how to play guitar. It will be available for $14.99 per month on a subscription-based service, or you can get it for a 3-month subscription for $39.99 or 12 months for $99.99.
That's a lot cheaper than lessons.
Actually, you're not wrong. It is. Correct. Mm-hmm. The next game that they announced was Riders Republic. Now, this game it's a massive multiplayer outdoor sports playground, and it shows off new Riders Ridge social space for those of you who are familiar with Riders Republic. And this is an area where you can learn how to do tricks, manage your career, access a variety of multiplayer modes, and share your in-game creations with other players. And right now you can register for a chance to play in upcoming betas and pre-order the Gold and Ultimate Editions. So if you're interested in Riders Republic and you're a fan on that, you can keep an eye out. It will launch in September. On September 2nd, it'll be available for PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, Amazon Luna, and Stadia. Stadia is still a thing? I thought Google was like,
Yeah. I don't even know what Luna is.
Yeah, scram.
Luna is Amazon Stadia.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'll be super successful.
Yeah, and just when you thought you were over Rainbow Six, we need to talk about Rainbow Six Siege. So, it's a pretty popular game. Over 70 million people have played the game itself since launch over 5 years ago. On June 30th, Rainbow Six Siege will launch on Stadia. And for this date, players on PC, Stadia, and Amazon Luna will be able to queue for matches together and have unified account progression across those platforms with the launch of crossplay and cross-progression on PC and cloud-based platforms. So that was another announcement from Ubisoft.
Pretty cool.
They also announced Just Dance 2022, which is still a popular thing. That will launch November 4th on Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox X, Series S, Xbox One, and Stadia. 3 songs were revealed at the trailer for the upcoming game, one of which was a collaboration with a singer, dancer, actor, and choreographer, Todrick Hall, if you guys know who that is. Go ahead, Rick.
I was going to say, I have a kind of funny anecdote about Just Dance.
Were you also legend in the Just Dance arena?
No, I made a legendary fool of myself, though.
Oh.
So I was dating this girl at the time. We went over to her uncle's house and this bunch of her family that was there, and we did this tour of the place. And the uncle had this son who wasn't there. He was out doing a theater thing. So somehow at dinner, I was rambling about how you would go into the malls. This was the era of the mall.
Yeah.
And you would see the goth rave kids always on Just Dance or DDR doing the whole dance thing with the big giant balloon pants.
I was one of those kids.
Really?
I'm a little butterfly. And you hold on to the back of the thing and your legs are flailing all left. Yeah.
And so I was at the time just this little punk rock kid, and I was kind of making fun of that crowd because and also I didn't realize that when we took the tour of the house that their son had an Xbox with the DDR pad downstairs. And so
and you're like, step aside.
My girlfriend's sister's boyfriend is kicking me under the table, and I'm in the middle of this rant about this, and then I look at him dude, why are you kicking me? And he's like, I'm sorry. And he's trying to get my attention to shut up. I was anyway, I went back on to ripping this. I felt so bad.
There's nothing like the taste of your own feet, hey, Rick?
I felt so bad afterwards.
Oh. Well, to get your mind off that, Ubisoft also announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Isn't that already out?
It is. Yeah.
Well, okay. So let me clarify. It's getting a second year of DLC content. So, but before that happens, there's still a lot to happen this year. The presentation at Ubisoft Forward revealed the first gameplay footage for the Siege of Paris expansion, as well as the Discovery Tour. So, yeah, that's coming from Valhalla, if you guys are excited about that. What were you going to say, Shalene?
No, I just said great.
Oh, okay, great. And then they also announced that they're... They also kind of talked about Ubisoft Film and Television. They revealed new trailers for the upcoming feature film Werewolves Within, and back for a second season of the Apple TV Plus comedy Mythic Quest. So Werewolves Within gives viewers sort of an initial look at a horror-based comedy. And that's going to be coming to theaters on June 25th. And they revealed a 30-second trailer for Mythic Quest, which showed highlights from their Season 2, which you can now watch on Apple TV. So I had no idea that they were sort of involved with television, but it's unsurprising.
Do you think the release is going to look as good as the trailers?
I don't know. I mean, we're going to see all of these developers getting into TV, right? Just like we're seeing these streaming services getting into video games. It's just all going to meld together.
I must not be landing the jokes today.
Oh, I missed that completely.
I was joking because like Ubisoft is famous for putting out these beautiful like game trailers, and like the graphics look amazing, and then the games look like terrible compared to the graphics. It's live action, so is it. Anyway,
you tried, Rick. It was.
I did.
Far Cry 6. They also talked about Far Cry 6. Rick, you like Far Cry?
I do.
So you must be excited about this, maybe.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did announce 3 DLC episodes included in the Season's Pass. You'll be able to play as one of the major antagonists as you dive inside the mines to uncover their backstories. And you'll also encounter some familiar faces and what it's like to become a villain within Far Cry. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I played Far Cry 2, 3, and 5. I did miss Far Cry 4. But the thing that they've always done with their villains is they've always made them kind of not, I wouldn't want to say right, but they always had kind of good, valid reasons.
Sympathetic?
Yeah, but like ones that make sense. So like in Far Cry 5, this guy named Joseph Seed starts this religious far right cult in Montana and kind of takes over Hope County. So you're trying to liberate that county from Joseph Seed. And at the very end of it, spoiler alert, guys, sorry, not sorry. At the very end of it, like the whole thing is like they're prepping for the end of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this dude's nuts. Like it's not going to happen. And so as you're trying to arrest him at the very end of it, all these nukes get launched. And you're like, the guy was right.
He was right.
Like he was like, and that makes you go, what if I like he was doing the absolute most horrible things and prepping for it, but like he was ultimately right. Is that? And so they have a really interesting way of presenting these. So with Far Cry 6, you're a revolutionary on this mythical island of Yara, which is basically analogous to Cuba, and it's like stuck in the 1950s. One of your main rides is like a 57 Chevy looking car, and Giancarlo Esposito is the main bad guy, and you're a revolutionary who's trying to take out.
I might need to play this.
Yeah, you're trying to take him out because he's the bad guy. So it's like it's your guerrilla warfare and stuff, and you get cool little like you can have a rooster that fights as your companion.
The attack rooster.
Yeah.
It's just like Breath Edge. Remember when I told you guys about the universal rooster utility?
That's
tool
right.
That you could just like use to plug spaceship holes.
That's right.
And can we talk about Chorizo the dog?
And yes, there's a little dog whose hind legs don't work, so he's in a little like cart system.
A little
like, got
doggy
medical
wheelchair.
supplies.
Oh, I'm dying inside.
And then it's
so
got
cute.
an alligator and a T-shirt with a gold tooth. You can also have as a
Yes,
companion
this
as well.
was the trailer. So Far Cry season, the Far Cry 6 season pass will also include Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and it'll take you back to that grim cyber future that you remember, to play as Sergeant Rex Power Colt.
Blood
who
Dragon's pretty good.
It is
who
really good.
Who is the all-American action hero hell-bent on destroying an army of killer cyborgs while dishing out gritty one-liners and tangling with massive lizards that shoot lasers from their eyes. So you'll be able to bring some elements of that into Far Cry 6. The signature style Back to the Island of Yara with the array of Blood Dragon-themed items will appear in Far Cry 6, including weapons, a vehicle, and the Robo-Canine Fang for hire. So it launches October 7th on Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, PS5, PS4, PC, Stadia, Amazon Luna, and is also included in a Ubisoft Plus subscription. Console versions will include Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon Classic Edition, while PC versions will include Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon for $19.99 per month, and you can cancel anytime. You can get the Gold and Ultimate Editions, which will be available as part of the Ubisoft Plus subscription. So, I actually played the original Far Cry, like the first one. That's the only Far Cry that I played, but it was fantastic.
Yeah, everyone. I did
So
not
good.
play that one,
It was
but
so
I heard
good.
it was really good.
Yeah. Mario plus Rabbids Spark of
Rabbids.
Hope was also a thing that happened. Yeah.
I don't know.
They're doing a
I don't
thing. It's like a Nintendo relationship.
Yeah, it's the first one was really popular. The first Mario plus Rabbids game was really, really popular. It's basically XCOM featuring Mario characters and the Rabbids.
Yeah. Yeah. So stay tuned for more details. Ubisoft didn't really have a lot of information about this in their sneak peek trailer, but we'll probably see more of that as we get closer to 2022. The last thing that they did announce was this new Avatar game, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and this was a first look trailer for Avatar, which was released at the Ubisoft Forward Showcase, and it looks to be it appears to be powered by the latest iteration of the Snowdrop engine. It'll be releasing in 2022. It is a first-person action-adventure experience that is developed by Massive Entertainment, which is a Ubisoft studio, and it was also developed in collaboration with Lightstorm Entertainment and, of course, Disney, because Avatar, right? So this looks really great. I did watch the trailer for it.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, the trailer does give us a little bit of a glimpse into the Na'vi community. If you aren't familiar with Avatar, that is, the indigenous culture to the region in which Avatar takes place. And, it's going to be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, Stadia, Amazon Luna, and Windows PC in 2022. And, of course, they have a Discord available if you're interested in becoming part of the community. You might be able to pick up a good beta code here and there if you're interested. But that was day one for E3. Day two, Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase. Now, This was sort of the big one. I did miss it. I apologize. It was a very busy week for me. And let's just jump right in. So, Starfield, what do you guys think?
I'm not going to go jump and pre-order it anytime soon. I mean, they just did like another little teaser trailer of in-game alpha footage. But what it invokes for me is like a cross between Star Citizen and No Man's Sky is kind of how I'm feeling the vibe, like a more realistic No Man's Sky sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get into Bethesda RPG universe that it isn't an established like Fallout or Elder Scrolls. I have a lot of faith in the company that this is going to be a really fun, epic of a game. You know what I mean?
They do need to deliver, because this is the first new universe from Bethesda Game Studios in 25 years. So that's kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah.
This is a new franchise for them. So we're hopefully going to see them bring their A game, as we know Bethesda is capable of doing in terms of
Yeah.
Fallout 76, right?
I really think it's a little too soon to get too excited. I was disappointed that there wasn't really much actual gameplay in the trailer. The only reason that we know this is an RPG is because they said, "Hey, it's an RPG." They gave us nothing in terms of showing us what this game is. So it is on a new version of the creation engine, so we'll see how that goes.
Yes, that was one of the shining features of it, and you see that throughout the trailer as well. It is set to be released November 11th, 2022, which is pretty standard for Bethesda, considering the Christmas season and things like that. They usually launch things in November, so... but I watched the trailer, and it looks really good. Like, I'm definitely probably going to play it. It did give me sort of Outer World meets Fallout vibes.
Yeah, they definitely are going for more, I think, a realistic look to it. Like, not like a stylized sort of look.
I think we're not going to see so much whimsy here as we do in
and
some
I'm
of
happy
the other
with
series.
That.
That's
I really
fine,
am.
because I think that they need to start breaking away from that art style, because it's kind of... The horse is in the back, and they just keep beating it. Like, it's...
It's established in like Fallout universe, and like Outer Scrolls is a little whimsical, so like they couldn't do it a third time, you know.
Yeah.
And this feels, and the way that they're treating this to me feels like this is Todd Howard's baby. Like this is something it feels like it's been like tinkered with for a very long time, and like now it's coming to fruition.
You know, it's quite... you bring up a good point, Rick. It's quite possible this could be Todd Howard's legacy.
His swan song, as if you will. But I do want to like point out, like let's talk about the artwork and posters they're putting out.
Oh, they're so pretty.
It's so awesome.
Pretty.
Yeah. It like they had like a dude like hand paint that first poster or something, like hand draw it. It's beautiful. The Star Wars look with the people looking off in direction.
It's quite lovely.
It's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to playing it on my ultra wide. I think it's going to be really great. I hope that they have...
4K monitor.
No, I was just going to say, Rick, I hope that they have VR capabilities, because...
I was thinking about that too.
Can you imagine this in VR? And I would imagine that they would if they've done VR in Fallout 76, so... But
they haven't done it for 76. They did it for 4.
Fallout 4. Yeah. What was I going to say? This might be a game that depending on how it progresses, I might actually do like one of the collector edition orders. So I saw like something in one of the trailers. They were doing like an interview kind of trailer, and somebody opened up like a plastic case that looked like a prop from the game, like almost like this is what the collector's edition might have. And it spoke to like the inner sci-fi like kid in me, and I was like, I want that.
Any other comments about Starfield?
I can't wait to see more.
They also announced Redfall, which is a new co-op open-world first-person shooter from Arcane Austin, and it comes out of the same team that built Prey and Dishonored. You can play it solo or team up with as many as 3 friends to take on a legion of vampires that have overtaken the once quaint island town of Redfall. So you can choose your path across the island and through the vampire masses as you discover what has caused this plague of bloodsuckers and figure out how to end the threat. So that's a hard nope from me, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I wasn't into this. The thing I felt like they really missed was they should have had Gunship do this song, like the soundtrack to it, or like Perturbator or something. But it doesn't speak to me.
You guys know that Dishonored is one of my favorite series of all time in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of faith in Arcane. I feel like I should give it a chance because they made it, but it didn't speak to me. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Strong words. Fallout 76. They also talked about Fallout 76. So there's an all-new Steel Rain quest line, an upcoming free week and sales, plus the reveal of Expeditions: The Pit. Which, do you guys want to talk about those two things? Gets the Steel Rain and then the Expeditions? What were your
I think, of course, we all liked Steel Dawn quite a lot, the first part of the Brotherhood of Steel quest line, and I have every faith that Steel Rain is going to be a good time. It's going to be a good quest line. I've been wondering about Expeditions for a while now, and it seemed to be that they were going to bring us to some new locations. And I think the Pit is going to be a good one to explore. You know, the Pit had such character in that DLC for Fallout 3. And I think it's really great that we get to revisit that place.
So for those of you unfamiliar, this expedition takes place in Pittsburgh, aka the Pit. So it was first introduced, as Shalene said, in Fallout 3, the devastated Pennsylvanian city, which was dominated by mutants and other terrible things. And so that will be expected to come to Fallout 76 in 2022.
Also, there was a terrible, terrible case of roofs that you could just fall through. It was really bad. Oh man, I will never forget looking for those steel ingots and having to plan your path across to not fall through the roof, because if you fall through the roof, it can bork your save. And
yeah.
I forgot about finding those stupid ingots.
They also announced for Doom Eternal's next gen update that will be arriving on Xbox Series X, S, and PlayStation 5 June 29th, so next week. This is a free update. It optimizes Doom Eternal for the next-gen machines, and it will also offer improved visuals, increased performance, and ray tracing support, as well as 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, and optional, if you can handle it, 120 frames per second. Elder Scrolls Online, there was some musings about Elder Scrolls. So the console enhanced release date and the upcoming fall release of Deadlands and a peek at the future of the Elder Scrolls Online was talked about, including an upcoming ESO Plus free trial. And then Elder Scrolls V Skyrim 10th anniversary celebration. November 2021 will mark 10 years since the release of Elder Scrolls V 5 Skyrim. And so that's probably going to be a big thing. Fans can visit the 10th anniversary website and send their Skyrim video clips, fan art, cosplay, photography, and more to be used in a special project that is being developed by Bethesda. For the 10th birthday of Skyrim. So, and yeah. And then they did talk about Xbox Game Pass updates. So they revealed that Xbox and Bethesda games showcase that Bethesda is bringing 10 more iconic games to the Xbox Games Pass, making 30 games in total that are going to be available through that. And we will announce those on future shows as the months progress. But
they're already out, actually.
Oh, should we
all
roll?
The Fallout games are available on Game Pass for PC now.
Okay.
So every single one, the ISO, well, not the bad one.
Here's a list.
No,
so we've got
what was the other one called?
The Tactics.
No.
Arx Fatalis.
Brotherhood of Steel.
That's
the one that's not on there. But all of the ISOs are on there now.
So these are the 10 that Bethesda games that are now available. So Arx Fatalis, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, Fallout 3, Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, The Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein 2, Rage, and Doom 2016. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there is no achievement integration for the ISOs or for Fallout 3. I checked. I thought maybe I could do those Fallout 3 achievements for a fourth time.
There was some other things that were announced coming to the Xbox Game Pass. Shalene, you had noted these. Do you want to talk about them?
Yeah, so far we've only talked about the Bethesda games specifically, but it was the Xbox Bethesda showcase. So there were a ton of other things. They did show a little bit of Halo Infinite. I'm cautiously hopeful. I don't know, guys. Like, I love the Halo series so much, but I just, I don't know. I don't know about this whole situation. We'll see. Back for Blood is the sort of spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. And I'm feeling really good about it, Rick. I think we're going to have a really good time playing this game.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. We can finally aim down sights. I am excited for that. But moreover, I'm excited for more zombie killing horde action. So, and it's like it's from the same creators as the Left 4 Dead series. It's just not under the Valve banner anymore.
Right.
So I guess the only thing that means is when you start the game off, it won't go.
Yes, exactly. We won't have to deal with the very unsettling photo of the guy with the spigot in the back of his head. Oh, that bothers me so much.
Yeah. That on the VR version of Alex, he starts to turn to look at the camera as it cuts. Yeah.
Oh no!
You're like, oh, he moves.
No, forget that noise. Forget that noise.
But yeah, okay. This looks absolutely fantastic and fun, and I cannot wait. Did they give us a release date? I can't remember.
I think it's coming out near Halloween, like in October. So we should have this ready for Survival Horror Sundays. We should have the band back together. I think Tim wanted to join us too, so we can saddle up and do some Back for Blood. It's gonna be shenanigans.
Somerville also, you had noted Somerville looks interesting. Shalene, what were your thoughts on that?
I thought when I watched the Somerville trailer, I thought, man, this looks an awful lot like Inside. And of course, Inside was a game that I loved very, very much. I thought it was something really special. And it turns out Somerville has been created by one of the creators of Inside. Mm-hmm. So this is a studio called Jump Ship, which was established after one of the Play Dead co-founders, Dino Patti, left the company. So no wonder it looks familiar.
She jumped ship and then named her development studio Jump Ship.
Yes! Yes!
Wow, I feel like there was some internal beef that we're not aware of that was in that titling.
Why does any video game developer leave a company, Rick?
Yeah, that is gorgeous, Rick. That is just amazing. There is some kind of a mysterious situation happening in Somerville. It's a side-scrolling adventure. There is some dangerous stuff happening. Maybe aliens, I don't know. And there's a family with a child and a dog who you navigate through the world. So looking forward to checking that out. Of course, A Plague Tale: Innocence was one of our Game of the Year award winners a couple of years ago. And the follow-up to that game will be A Plague Tale: Requiem, and it will feature an older protagonist, and it looks beautiful. It looks really, really good. So looking forward to that. Lots of rats. I'm sure they can do even more rats with these next-gen consoles. They can probably triple the number of rats.
Plague Tale Innocence
at one time.
Plague Tale Innocence was psychologically it affects you psychologically.
I felt like it was a little bit like Hellblade.
Yeah.
Not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of I need to be mentally prepared to enter this world. And when it's time to stop, I need to stop and I need to go out into the sunlight and smell a flower. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. It looks good. I'm excited to check it out. As you know, I played Plague Tale Innocence. That was gifted to me by Shalene. And it was tough, but it was good.
Yeah. The next thing that I'm really excited about actually starts next week. So you guys had better be ready because
I'll be there.
We are going to set sail. We are going to set sail on the Sea of Thieves. And I didn't actually link an article or anything here. What was it called? A Pirate's Life?
Yep.
Was that the name of the expansion? Featuring Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. I was so excited. It has the guy Davy Jones with the tentacles, and
it also has Professor Mr. Gibbs.
Yes,
He's
I'm
in it.
so excited.
You know, the interesting thing is that
Calypso?
that is Johnny Depp voiced that character. How
I'm so
much
ex-
money did Rare pay for that? How much money did Xbox pay for that?
yeah, I
think-
wonder if they didn't just nab lines that he'd already done.
I don't
Well,
know.
they'd still have to pay him royalties, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And I feel like Johnny Depp is one of those guys that would love to do this sort of thing.
Mhm.
Like he does
Oh,
like
absolutely.
he does like the Jack Sparrow character.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so I think I was most excited for this announcement. Like when I saw Sea of Thieves pop up, I'm like, oh, cool, more content for Sea of Thieves. And then when like the lady started talking, I'm like, Shalene, this sounds like Calypso from Pirates of the Caribbean.
And I was like, yeah, I think they're trying to do like a Calypso knockoff kind of situation.
And then we see the dude, then we see the arm with the bone with the dog, and I'm like, no, nice homage to Pirates of the Caribbean. And then they showed Jack Sparrow's face. I'm like,
Oh,
and I was like,
man.
kitty.
We were freaking out like
We were.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how visceral I felt to like of excitement for that. So yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun to play. I'm really excited.
Sea of Thieves.
Very excited to
Sea
play
of Thieves:
this.
A Pirate's Life will launch June 22nd. It is a free update by Rare, and it will be available on Windows PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and is included as part of the Xbox Game Pass subscription. So, if you are interested in sailing with Captain Jack Sparrow, you can do that on the 22nd.
I also think it had the pirate guy, the guy who can't talk. I think he was in the trailer too.
I don't remember.
I'm cautiously optimistic about this. I do think that Sea of Thieves really set themselves apart from the whole Pirates Life, Pirates of the Caribbean, and that was one of their defining features. I'm not entirely sold on this marriage.
Well, that's okay. You're going to play it with us anyway.
I'm still going to play it anyways. But yeah. It's probably going to be great, because anything that comes out of Sea of Thieves is fantastic, in my opinion. So,
but their stories are always really good.
Oh,
Rare's
absolutely.
really good at storytelling.
yeah.
They are.
Um,
They really are.
The only issue that I ever really had with Sea of Thieves is the thing we've always talked about. Is the griefing that can happen in Sea of Thieves.
Well,
that's
I
my
would
biggest-
imagine that the Pirates of the Caribbean content will come in the form of Tall Tales, right?
Yeah.
We'll probably see some elements of Pirates of the Caribbean outside of the Tall Tales, like Twitch drops, and you might be able to get a new pet that is Pirates of the Caribbean focused.
The monkey.
Oh
Get,
yeah,
like,
maybe
the
you
monkey.
can get like a bone monkey.
Yeah, that would be great. I think it looked like, judging by the trailer, that they were going to introduce some new enemy types, including mermaids that will kill you. So that looked exciting.
I think that they're going to introduce a new part of the world.
Ooh, I would love some new map. That would be
interesting.
great.
Because from what it looked to me, I didn't recognize any of the islands, and I know all the islands, including
Yeah.
including the ones that aren't even on the map. And so I think that this is I think it's going to be like one of the other Tall Tales where you got to sail off the map to reveal this new island. I think that might be what it is. But
And wasn't that stuff instanced, so there was no griefers?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice if we could do that without. Because I remember we were trying to get through. Shalene Archin and I were trying to get through the Star one, and we kept getting griefed every time I got on to do it.
They've changed it now and turned it into chapters. So if you do get griefed,
you don't have to do the whole thing at one stretch.
You don't have to start from the beginning.
That's so
They're
much nicer,
checkpoints.
Because I ended up giving up on that one because we tried it like 4 times and kept failing. It's like disastrous, and I'm just like, ugh! So.
Stalker 2, I want to talk about Stalker 2 because this actually looked really great. I do want to play this, perhaps. I do like the Chernobyl-based games that are coming out. Stalker 2 is one of those. There is another one that was announced
Chernobyl
at
Light.
E3, Chernobyl Light. And then there's another one that wasn't announced at E3 called Liquidators, which was announced on Steam, but we won't get into that. What do you think about Stalker 2?
Looks fantastic.
It's like so Tarkov was based off of Stalker, essentially. Like it was highly inspired by Stalker,
Mm-hmm.
and this gunplay looks a lot like Tarkov.
Mm-hmm.
And so that marriage of realism versus some supernaturalness going on is like, yes, that's why I love the Metro series. Except for in Metro Exodus, where I really like the mechanics and the gunplay, they took away the supernatural aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this.
So in Stalker 2, you are in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. And of course, the area is full of dangerous enemies and different things that want to kill you. There is a story to it as well, and you get to choose your own path and determine your own fate and shape the future of the exclusion zone in the end of the game. It will be available on Steam, Xbox Series X and S, as well as on the Epic Store, scheduled to be launched April 28th, 2022. So, yeah, looks good. And then 12 minutes, Shalene, you had thrown this in here.
Yeah, 12 minutes looks really fascinating. I don't remember if this one was originally revealed last year or the year before, but it looks really cool. It's a time loop game where you are trying to solve sort of a mystery. It's you're in a domestic setting, a husband and wife are just sitting down to dinner, and for some reason there are police busting in, and there's a whole thing happening.
Yep.
And you repeat these 12 minutes and basically get to the bottom of why this is happening, why you're stuck in this 12-minute time loop, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it is a top-down interactive thriller developed by Annapurna Interactive. It will be available on Steam August 19th, 2021. And this was previously announced at the last year's E3. So it's not exactly new information, but, you know. Square Enix also did a thing at E3, which was a little bit weird. Did you guys hear about this?
Why did you think it was weird?
Oh, maybe it wasn't Square Enix. I think it was...
Take Two.
My mistake. We will get to that in a moment. But
Okay.
Square Enix did show off a couple of new games, and they talked about some other things that they've got coming down the pipeline. In case you missed it, Guardians of the Galaxy by Marvel.
Marvel?
That's the fancy version.
I was gonna say that's like Marvel.
Like here we have this thrift shop called Value Village, but Carlo and I call it Value Village.
It sounds so much fancy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyways,
sorry.
Guardians of the
Continue.
Galaxy is the newest title from the Montreal studio Eidos, and it's a new single-player adventure that puts you in Star-Lord's boots. So
yeah, Eidos Montreal is the Deus Ex studio.
Yeah.
And of course, they do incredible work, and I think this looks really great.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Marvel movies, not because I don't like them, but just because I don't watch many movies, and there's 900 of them.
Yes, there's 900,000 of them.
Yes, there's so many.
I don't even know. Carlo talks about them, and I have no idea what he's talking about.
So I'm not really familiar with these characters, but I really think it looks cool. Looks like a great game.
Yeah, players.
BioWare vibes.
Players will have to make decisions in conversations that will have lasting consequences, but you can find the very familiar banter that goes on and the sort of zaniness that exists. The game will be available October 26, 2021. They also announced Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. So if you are into the Final Fantasy games, they are remastering the classic JRPGs for a more modern audience. And so they're not getting the same makeover that Final Fantasy VII did, but they will have a new sort of take, a new look. There's no official release date yet for that, but it will be coming to Steam, and it will be available on mobile.
Have you guys played any of those before?
No.
Played what?
Any of the original, like, first 6 Final Fantasies?
No.
They are so hard. Like,
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played some of one of the 13s. I played probably about 15 hours of one of the 13s. I don't remember which one it was. And I've played about 3 hours of the boy band road trip one. That's
I beat
my
10.
Final Fantasy experience.
I beat 7, I beat 10. I played 8 and 9, but didn't find them nearly as engaging as 7. And that's kind of where it stopped for me.
Well, this one's a remake, so... Or a remaster. Speaking of retouches, Legend of Mana is gonna be getting a retouch as well. Square Enix did not say much about this game at E3, but they did say that it will come out June 24th for PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC.
Soundtrack of that game is pretty awesome.
On the Marvel's theme, they also showed off some of their upcoming content for its Avengers live service game. So that will be coming out soon. And, later this summer, you can expect to see Wasteland Patrol, which will add a new patrol mode to randomize boss fights and exploration rewards. Coming out sooner than that will be Cosmic Cube, which puts you against... I have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Puts you against the Scientist Supreme, which is a new mission. And then, of course, the upcoming War of Wakanda expansion is really what stood out for the Avengers, which will allow you to play as Black Panther. And that will come later this year, and it will be at no additional cost. Another one of the live service games that they announced was Babylon's Fall. So this is a high fantasy hack and slash dungeon crawler. And it is developed by Platinum Games, which is known for its insane combat. This is a single-player or four-player co-op experience in which you can complete dungeons to collect equipment and materials. It'll be available on PS4, PS5, and PC when it's ready. And, of course, the one thing that I'm most excited about, Life is Strange. Oh,
Rick's got his hand up.
Go ahead, Rick. You could just interrupt, right?
What's a high fantasy?
Well, it depends what you want. Get out of scram.
Well, I just was like, what's a low fantasy? Is that is a high fantasy like anything you desire? And a low fantasy is like, I don't know, kid. I don't know.
Here's some veal.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Stop!
What do you mean you're ungrateful? That's 5 pounds of veal.
Let me take my dentures out. It feels better.
Rick!
Is that a low fantasy?
Now we need a PG. Anyways, Life is
Strange. This is not the joke I expected. I expected the joke. No. The joke I expected was that high fantasy was going to be like Snoop Dogg as the wizard. Like...
That would be really great. Give me a game with Snoop Dogg as a grand wizard, and I'm be the happiest guy ever.
That was the joke I was expecting.
You know how classically when you do a spell, it's usually a rhyme like fizzle fizzle dap. I don't know, zap that kind of thing. Could you imagine Snoop Dogg doing the rhymes to cast a spell? It would be the most fantastic thing ever, wouldn't it?
So great. And he would have the Gandalf pipe.
Willie Nelson is also there.
Yes. that is high fantasy.
Okay. Are you done now?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, good. Life is Strange happened. They're talking about getting a remaster. So that's exciting. I'm not sure what that means. Is it going to change the storyline? I don't think all that much.
No, just making it a little prettier.
So that will be available September 30th, 2021.
Why?
Also in the Life is Strange theme, there's a new Life is Strange. It is called True Colors, and it takes you on a new adventure with a psychic empath called Alex Chen. And you use empathic powers to gain insight into people's emotions as you unravel the mystery of your brother's death.
And we're going to play this together, right?
Oh,
we're going to stream
10
it.
out of 10.
Yes!
And it's quite possible. It's quite possible that this may be my favorite Life is Strange because it is set in a small town in the Rocky Mountains.
Ooh.
Wait, let me say it in like a Price is Right kind of thing. Set in a small town in the Rocky Mountains. Up next.
Yeah, but it still won't be in Canada.
Up next, Plinko. Alex develops realistic relationships with the residents of the town, and she has strong emotions about those connections, of course, because she's an empath. And yeah, it's this whole thing. I didn't watch the trailer, but I need to watch it. That comes out September 10th. Hold on to your butts because Shalene and I are definitely going to play it, and we are going to stream it. So, yeah. I'm excited about that.
I can't wait.
Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin is a thing also. So developed by Team Ninja. This is another hack and slash. It looks very pretty. It will be available for demo on PS5. And again, this is part of the Final Fantasy franchise. That's it for Square Enix. And there was one other things that we wanted to mention. Did you already talk about your take on Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Okay. And so the summarizing up day 2 at E3 was the PC gaming show. This one is a little bit lengthy, so I'm gonna kind of like blast through it. Stop me if you need to at any point. They introduced 39 new video games, game announcements, and other interviews. So we're not going to go through entirely all of those, but I'll just do a quick list. So they did announce Naraka Blade Point, which is a battle royale game that focuses on sword combat and different magic abilities. They did also announce Dodgeball Academia, which is real-time combat and RPG skills, sort of adventure game that looks at 3 versus 3 matches and boss fights as well as time trials. Chivalry 2 is I don't even know. It's like a medieval times sort of like battle fighting sim, which actually looks kind of fun. Limb chops and all that stuff. Ramen by Imagine Splatoon. And,
I get it. Ramen noodles.
Yeah.
And ramen.
Yeah.
Because that explains why they're in a bowl with half an egg in it.
Right. So this is semi-nude dudes in a bowl around some broth. And there's 5 different player modes that you can compete in, including Team Meatball, which is capture the flag, but with a giant meatball, and you roll it around like Katamari. So, yeah.
Wow.
It's basically Fall Guys, but humanized, I think. Dying Light 2, also a thing. Zombie parkour sequel, if you guys are interested in that.
Hardcore.
Humankind trailer looks kind of cool. It's a 4-time strategy game built into Civilization. So it'll be a much bigger emphasis on multicultural influences, neighboring countries, impacts to society and economies and things like that. They Always Run was also announced. This is more of a alien cyberpunk ninja cowboy type game. It's a 2D side scroller. Orcs Must Die 3 will be coming to Steam, and also has previously been an exclusive on Stadia, so that is coming. Vampire Swan Song will be available. This is a it's a third-person RPG that puts you in sort of the perspective of a vampire and different clans and things like that. What were you going to say, Rick?
No, that's what I was going to say. It's like this RPG where you're like, I guess it's like you're hiding from humanity, and 3 different vampire clans are kind of taking different approaches to it.
Yes.
Jolene, you're muted.
Darn it! It's sort of like an underworld crime story, except instead of the mafia, you're vampires.
I was wondering why it got so quiet.
Shut up!
Well, it's not that you weren't talking, it's that we couldn't hear the air conditioner. Anyways, Gigabash was also a thing that came out. This is like mech robots fighting each other. I don't know. Doesn't look very interesting. Lemnis Gate, also, there was a development segment on this. They talked about various things within the game itself, how you can, like, throw grenades and stuff. It's all very riveting. Next,
it's actually pretty interesting because like it's a time loop situation. So every 25 seconds you respawn, and then it kind of your other operator tends to like go do the thing that you just did. It's really weird how they have that time loop situation set up. So it could be interesting. I don't know.
Next Space Rebels was also announced. Imagine Kerbal Space Program, but with actual people talking that focuses on different fictitious rocket building organizations and things like that. So that trailer debuted. That actually looks kind of cool. War Tales. This is from the same team behind Northgard, Evoland, and Darksburg, where you lead a band of mercenaries through a plague-ridden kingdom, and it has some survival mechanics and things like that. Ixion, which was also announced. This is a space station management sim. Guess who's going to play that?
This does look cool.
Earth is totally destroyed, and you're a captain of the Space Ark, which is tasked with balancing all of the different logistical and emotional needs of the residents on the ship. And so, yeah, a lot of work to do there. Far Changing Tides also announced. This is a post-apocalyptic adventure trade desert type game. And you really work to see how the players can explore beyond the limits of their what they're capable of. Lakeburg Legacies also announced. This is a medieval management sim that lets you focus on being a matchmaker.
Shalene.
So, yeah.
You like these kind of games, don't you?
I do.
I can't wait to find out what's going to happen with Horatio's and Cindy's baby.
The key words of this article looking at a meddling matchmaker, and already I'm like, yeah, Shalene would love that.
Killing Floor 2, Interstellar Insanity, was also announced.
Gosh.
This is a zombie shooter that goes to the moon.
Oh my gosh.
2 new weekly outbreaks, new weapons, and low gravity. Next, Mech Warrior
Arachnophobia?
5. Mech Warrior 5, they don't have anything written about that. Obviously, it's not that big of a deal.
Mech Warrior's great.
Okay, sure, yeah.
It's fun. Giant robots fighting each other. How much cooler can you get?
Yeah.
I like giant robots fighting each other.
Silt also announced. This is more of a puzzle type game. It looks to be an underwater 2D side scroller. So it's a spooky swimming adventure if you're interested in that. Hello Neighbor 2. If you've played the first Hello Neighbor, you'll probably like this. This expands on the original concept, and you explore a town where everything feels a bit weird.
So basically just in a town.
You're busting into multiple homes to uncover their sick secrets.
So just like Tuesdays.
Yes. I don't know. Yes. Okay. Jurassic World Evolution 2 was announced. This is a sequel that brings back the Frontiers brand of the dinosaur managing gameplay, park management, etc., etc. This is sort of coming on the advent of the next Jurassic World movie that's supposed to be coming out, and hopefully it will play into that as well. New Blood was also announced. It's sort of like a top-down shooter, Fallout-style RPG. There's New Blood is the developer, I should clarify. They did announce a few games. So what they announced was a top-down shooter, a Fallout-style RPG, a car combat game, a creepy visual novel, and a first-person axe swinger. So you can check out their interview with PC Gaming on the PCGamer.com website. What else?
There's so much.
There is a lot. I don't want to cover all of this because some of it is not actually games. It's more like interviews.
There's some hardware.
They do a lot of hardware at the PC Gaming Show too.
Yeah.
I got to sit in like prototype chairs when I went that one year. It was great.
If you look at, scroll down to see the Wandering Village, that looks pretty cool. So the idea is like it's a city builder and a dinosaur in the sense that you build a city on the back of a giant like anamorphic rock,
like a
living dinosaur
titanosaur, like an ark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like made out of the ground.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
The other one that I'm excited about is Chernobyl Light. So Chernobyl
really?
Light is kind of like it's like the horror version of Chernobyl, basically. So it is one of the other Chernobyl games that's coming out. Yeah. Icarus also looks really good. If you haven't watched the trailer for this is I'm excited. I'm probably gonna play this. It's a survival game. And basically you play as some astronauts that are rocketing down from space onto a new planet. You build log cabins, you do all kinds of stuff, you hunt animals, and you just try to survive. So that looks kind of cool. And
the only qualm I have is the fact that it was from the creator of DayZ, and I remember how that was back in the day.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna remain sketched on that one.
Yeah. So that was.
I like the idea of it.
That was day 2 for E3. Day 3 consisted of Take-Two Interactive Showcase as well as the Capcom conference. Take-Two got a lot of flack about their conference. They didn't necessarily do a lot of new stuff. They took a different tone this year, and they opted to discuss diversity, inclusion, and equity in the video game industry. And as you guys know, EDI is a very important topic of discussion in all industries and all societies. And so the panelists sort of took on a focus that looked at discussing the inclusion of EDI within existing video games as well. And for anyone who's unfamiliar, they did talk about organizations such as Gay Gaming Professionals, who provide resources and education and connections for LGBTQ plus members of the industry. Girls Make Games, which provides a series of summer camps and workshops to help teach young women the ins and outs of making video games. And also, the organization has even moved to having virtual camps in 2021. They featured Games for Change, which is a nonprofit that hosts an annual festival celebrating games that make real social impact and consulting for different companies. And then sort of polished off the panel discussion with USC Games, which is a game design program that runs out of the University of Southern California. So the thing is that they got a lot of flack about this because I think people were just expecting new stuff that they could play and content and like exciting and flashy and, you know, addictive. But this was more of a different take. It was a diverse panel of people talking about systemic issues that exist within the gaming industry and how we're battling that. I think it was a very bold and courageous move on their part. If they felt that they didn't need to actually introduce new content, that's a pretty good flex for Take-Two Interactive at E3, which is one of the biggest conferences. So that's my take on it. I thought it was really great, although they're getting a lot of negative press about that event.
You think this just means they didn't have anything new to show?
It's possible.
They don't usually do much for E3, do they?
Does Take-Two really need to have a lot to show? They're a huge company.
Mm-hmm.
They make so much money.
Yeah, still though. So,
I feel like they don't usually do much for E3, so it's not a big letdown.
The thing about Take-Two Interactive is that they generally have sort of a floor presence more so than actual
they have
conference.
a big booth there on the floor.
Yeah, and that's where they really shine, right? Because they're more interested in the networking.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any issues at all with what they're doing. In fact, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely.
But I just part of my skeptic brain kicked in was like, did this just mean they didn't have anything? And they're like,
Possible.
fill it with something.
Possible.
I don't know, but of course this it's funny. Of course this would get negative flack because
Well, people are greedy. They want new stuff that they can sit
Yeah.
in their house and just. Anyways, Capcom showed off a few new things in their showcase. They announced Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin.
good. I love that title.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, this is sort of built on the famous Monster Rider Red, which is the origins of Raisewing Ratha, and players journey to unravel the Wings of Ruin prophecy. So monster riders can experience different RPG, as well as there's a free trial version that is offering a full save data transfer when it lands on June 25th for Nintendo Switch and Steam at launch. Anybody who is interested in seeing more about the upcoming content can catch a glimpse of fan favorites such as Elder Dragons Kushala Dora and Teostra. As well, they also talked about some of the free titles that are coming up, including Palamute from the Monster Hunter Rise, and that will be available on July 9. They did talk about and announce the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
Okay.
I was gonna say this sounds just like Shalene.
Gotta stop you for a minute.
Okay.
I haven't played any of the Ace Attorney games. I've always wanted to, but I've never gotten into this series. I think I'm gonna start here because there is a detective character in this video game called Sherlock Sholmes.
Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, that's so good.
It kills me. Oh, it kills me. And it's Sherlock Holmes, but they didn't want to copyright infringe. So he's Sherlock Sholmes.
I think the only reason that I wouldn't play this is I'm not too interested in anime type. But
I just love that. I love it so.
You will be able to see Sherlock Sholmes on Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Steam. And that will arrive July 27, 2021.
Nice. I saw it when I read that Sherlock Sholmes. I'm like, Shalane's going to be on this.
In addition to Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin, you can also expect to see Monster Hunter Rise, which is kind of part of the same parcel. That is a collaborative project as well. And then they also talked about Resident Evil. So producer Tsuyoshi Kanda shared some news with fans. They can expect a Resident Evil 25th anniversary celebration to continue. They had a lot of support and feedback on their game, so they've begun development on additional DLC for Resident Evil Village, which will be shared at a later date. Then they sort of went into esports, which is about the time when everybody gets up and walks out to get some fried chicken in the lobby anyways. So, but they did they talked about Street Fighter League, which is on the horizon. There's a new season of that coming out. And then they also announced a new schedule for Street Fighter League as well as Capcom Pro Tour. So if you're interested in that, check that out. That's day 3. Now, day 4 was the Nintendo E3 Direct Showcase. This is one of the ones that we are always more interested in. Shalene, did you want to just talk about this first? So I can have a little bit of a break.
Okay, so let me see here. Let me talk about my favorite things from the Nintendo Direct. So I love the No More Heroes series. And I was a little disappointed in the last spin-off game, No More Heroes. What was it called? I forget what it was called, but it was the Switch game. It was not very good. It was only okay. And I was disappointed, and it broke my heart. But No More Heroes 3 looks like everything that I want. It looks incredibly weird. Just so weird. And there's you get to free roam around the world and get into shenanigans, and it just looks wonderful. So looking forward to No More Heroes 3. They brought back Shinobu and Bad Girl, who are some of the best characters in the series. So that's great. And I don't think you guys have ever played any of the No More Heroes games.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you'd like them. Yeah, but I do. I think they're fabulous.
That's
It
all
looks
that matters.
wackadoo.
It looks just as weird as I want it to be. So
It looks
Wackadoo.
really weird.
yeah, I remember the original game on the Wii. There were moments when your character would get a phone call, and you would have to hold the Wiimote up to your ear because it had a little speaker in it. And you have to hold it up to your ear like a phone. So dumb.
It's like a weird mix of like pixel and normal graphics.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of pixel art, cell shading, and some slightly realistic. Yeah,
It's definitely strange looking.
it's bizarre, and I adore it. It's gonna be a good time.
Is he mowing grass?
Yes, that was one of the conceits of the series, is that you have to. He's an assassin, Travis Touchdown. He's a despicable human being, this man, and he wins what is equivalent to a lightsaber, like on an eBay auction. And so he has this lightsaber, and you have to charge it up periodically, and it looks dirty because it's like a shake weight.
They're sick.
Nice.
And you have to. He's competing in these assassin like tournaments, and to raise the entry fee, you have to do stuff like mow the lawn, and it's fantastic. You have to earn money cutting grass to be able to raise your entry fees. It's so zany, and I love it. And you can play with the cat. He has a cat back at home, and you can just spend like an hour playing with the cat if you want. Just play with the cat. It's good times.
I love it.
Yeah. Of course, I'm very stoked about the Breath of the Wild sequel. I loved Breath of the Wild, and I can't wait for another game in that vein. They didn't show us a ton. It appears that the Sheikah slate has been replaced with some kind of bionic arm situation. So, and there are different powers. Some of the sound effects in that trailer did remind me a little bit of the Twilight Princess, the Twilight Realm, some of the noises that the Twilight Realm creatures made. So I wonder if this one's going to be maybe a little darker than the first one. So we'll see.
Did you beat Breath of the Wild?
Just a side note, if you're interested in securing your copy of Breath of the Wild 2, pre-orders have gone live at some stores, but only the $60 standard edition.
Yeah, this game won't be out for like another couple years.
It is. They did confirm it's expected to release in 2022.
I doubt it.
So.
You know the Cole Phelps doubt gif? That's me right now.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning, this year marks the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda.
Oh, cool.
So Nintendo has a few releases lined up to celebrate that as well. So keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Just to build on that, the HD remaster of the Wii's Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword will launch on Switch on July 16th.
Yes, I will be playing that. I did not finish this game on the Wii, and I feel terrible about it. So I'm going to go back and give it another try.
And then, of course, they also announced Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity's Pulse of the Ancients DLC will launch June 18.
I've played some of Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. It's quite good. Really fun.
I watched a little bit of it played, and I was really impressed with how tied into the prequel of Breath of the Wild that it was. And like
the story is so good.
Yeah, my wife was like, I kind of want to play it just to like get to the story. But yeah, if you liked Dynasty Warriors, You'd like this game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I despise Dynasty Warriors.
Really?
But yes,
You know-
I
you
think
know-
it's incredibly stupid.
You know who loves it and now wants me to watch the movie? Carlo.
There's a movie?
There's a movie coming out.
Wow.
Carlo loves Dynasty Warriors.
How funny.
He grew up with it. Yeah, I think it's adorable.
That is
so
cute.
We're gonna watch the movie together. That's like the first thing we're gonna do once I'm 14 days out from dose 2, which I received today. So
Nice. How you feeling, by the way?
I'm fine, actually. Yeah.
Good.
That's wonderful.
I'll let you know in 24 hours. Should I go into some of the other things that Nintendo had talked about that wasn't on your list?
Sure, go ahead.
So there's a new Mario Party. So that's a thing that's coming as well. Mario Party Superstars, which is going to feature N64 maps and mini games, which is pretty cool. It also has a modern take on the classic Mario Party titles, so that you've known to come and love. That will release on October 29th. They also did talk about a new collection of Super Monkey Ball games, which is coming in the Banana Mania collection, and will feature numerous remastered titles from that series. Metroid.
Yes, I'm so excited for Metroid Dread. I love the Metroid series. And yeah, I'm sorry.
What are your
I cut
thoughts?
you off.
No, I was going to ask you what your thoughts are.
It looks fantastic. Metroid Dread looks really good. I as much as I love the Prime games, I really like a nice 2D Metroid. And Dread looks fantastic. It looks really, really good. So I've already got it pre-ordered. So can't wait.
Yeah, and that will be available October 8th of this year. So if you're interested in picking that up. They did also mention Metroid Prime 4, but it's not on the way yet.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that we're never going to see Metroid Prime 4.
People did get a look at Metroid 5, which apparently, to reports, it looks really good. It's a side-scroller and takes more of a nostalgic look to things, but yeah.
You look confused, Shalene.
I am confused. How did I miss that? Go ahead, carry on.
They also talked about some new things that are coming to Just Dance 2022, which, as we mentioned, so this is a collaborative thing. And this Just Dance 2022 will launch November 4. Cruisin' Blast is coming to Switch as well this fall. A new version of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is on the way. And as well... so you can find those games on September 24. We will also see the return of WarioWare and some other games as well. So we did get a look at the Mario Golf Super Rush, which we had joked about previous on the show as Super Rash. That releases later this month, so you'll get a look at that as well. And as well, what else have they got on this list? Oh, MarioWare. So that's finally here. That series did take a break for a little bit of a while, but MarioWare Get It Together launches on September 10, as well as Shin Megami Tensei 5. That will be available on November 12th. And there's also going to be a bunch of DLC that comes out. So Doom Eternal's first campaign DLC will be available. Actually, should already be available. The release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, which will be coming to Switch on June 25th. Thirdly, they also talked about Strange Brigade, which is a puzzle action title that should be available now. Advanced Wars Reboot Camp launches on December 3rd. And the original Advanced Wars is getting a complete remake. So if you guys are interested in Advanced Wars, that's one thing that you can expect to see. They also sort of end things off with Hyrule Warriors and The Legend of Zelda, which is their strong points. So, and we've already talked about that. So,
What I missed was Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater. That's going to be something we do for Survival Horror Sundays. That's for
Ooh,
sure.
lovely.
So, Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly is something that I was a big fan of. And the idea behind these games is you have the camera obscura and you have to like take pictures of ghosts to like suck their soul out and they also attack you. It's absolutely horrifyingly creepy. There's like one scene where you walk down a stairwell and you hear this lady scream and this ghost goes smack right on the ground and her bones are all broken and then she starts like picking herself up and like crawling around with like broken limbs at you.
Yeah, that's going to be
like
a
a
no
boss.
from me, dog.
Great. So this kind of takes place in that same sort of Japanese horror game thing where you have the camera and you have to take pictures of ghosts and the screenshots they look so good. It's real creepy. I remember the sound clips being like really terrifying in the way that they recorded them and had them. It's like this. Oh my goodness, I love that game so much. I'm excited for this one. Yeah, I'm excited.
And that's a Nintendo title.
When does this come out? Did they give a release date? I don't think they did. But my lord, I want this to come out so I can play it right now. Oh boy, available 2021. Yes. Yeah.
So that's pretty much what we had to say about Nintendo. There is a smaller company that did also have something to say at E3 on the same day, and that was Bandai Namco, which is a smaller video game developer. They didn't really have much to say, but they did focus on their new title, House of Ashes, and this is a horror game, actually, which you guys might be interested in playing. The trailer looks absolutely fantastic, and it really I don't think I would be able to sit through it.
Looks very spooky.
The trailer
I'm
shows
really
the trailer features soldiers falling into an ancient sandy pit and uncovering an evil thing lurking down there. The game is scheduled to release October 22nd, 2021. It's actually set in the Iraq War, which is still, sort of a thing. But House of Ashes uses sort of that moment in history as a backdrop to the tale about this lost history and the demonic entities that exist in this sandy pit. So throughout the game, you have to traverse these catacombs and go through these different caves, uncovering new horrors. And of course, it will have different settings so you can change, if you want to turn the spiders into cats or something, maybe you can do that. I'm not sure. But it does focus on a demon called Pazuzu, which is actually a Mesopotamian demon representing storm, wind, and drought.
Yeah, that's an actual mythological figure.
Yeah,
I love when games tie that stuff together.
I'm not entirely sure, but this looks like this looks kind of like a new engine.
Oh, I don't know.
But
yeah, I hope.
Looks good.
I wonder if it's going to be first person. Like that's what the trailer doesn't really say if it's going to be like first or third.
But
so that'll be interesting to see.
That was it for this company, and they didn't really announce any sort of release date or development roadmap or anything. So, I mean, it could be 2030 before we see this, or maybe they'll get bought out by Microsoft. I don't know. Yeah. So that was basically E3. Then they did something a little bit new this year, and they capped off the conference with the E3 2021 official awards, which people are like, huh? So basically what they did was they hosted an award show, and they just sort of gave awards to show winners that were selected from games that were showcased throughout the past 4 days. And so this included editors from IGN, GameSpot, PC Gamer, Games Radar Plus, Game Bonfire, and IGN China, who participated in the voting. So here's the list. The overall most anticipated game was Forza Horizon 5 by Microsoft Game Studios. The best presentation was, unsurprisingly, Microsoft, Xbox, and Bethesda Game Showcase. The most anticipated games, the Capcom Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Gearbox Entertainment Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Indie Games Falling Frontier, Intellivision's Asteroids, Nintendo Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, PC Gaming Show Songs of Conquest, Freedom Games Airborne Kingdom, Feature Games Show Immortality, Square Enix Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, of course, Ubisoft's Mario and the Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Xbox Bethesda Conference Halo Infinite, and Eureka Studio Loopmancer. So, yeah, I thought that was a little bit strange, but it was more like, keep going, good job, like you got it. Like, I don't know what were they trying to accomplish?
To me, it's the meme where President Obama is pinning the medal around him,
Yeah.
another version of himself.
Yeah, it's like when we do our award show and then we send everybody a tiny little trophy.
So, God of Radio brings up in chat. Did you see that the flight sim is getting an expansion that is the Top Gun? It's like based on the movie Top Gun.
No.
For flight sim, yeah.
No.
So you're gonna be able to fly the skies as Maverick from Top Gun and an
Cool.
F-16.
I would prefer to see them incorporate elements of historical figures like Gloria or
Gloria Allred?
No. Oh shit, it's Gloria Allred. Sorry. That was a callback to Rat Race.
It was a good quote. I liked it. I
$1.
appreciate it.
I don't want to work at Home Depot. Sorry.
Great movie.
Rat Race is like one of my favorite movies. Anyways, Amelia
Yeah, that's what I was
Earhart.
thinking.
Amelia Earhart and like Howard Hughes, I would like to see. Like, you should be able to like buy their planes and stuff. I think that would be cool.
They should put the spruce goose in that game.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
That would be
Like-
so cool.
like,
The thing about Microsoft Flight Sim though is that it is very community driven. So if it's not officially released as part of the sim, somebody else has created a mod for it, right?
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's our E3 recap, whatever you want to call it. Do you guys have anything else that you want to say about E3 before we hop into our gameplay?
Nothing really.
As a general sort of a comment, I think a lot of people felt like this E3 was a little bit lackluster. I think that's
Well-
only to be expected considering this whole pandemic situation.
Yeah.
I think we're very lucky that there are any games coming out this year.
And, I think it's worth saying kudos to the teams and all of the people that
Yes.
made E3 possible, all of the companies that even had content to show. I think, you've done yourselves and the industry a service by keeping with it, especially for all of those developers and support staff that have to work from home remotely, but also provide schooling and for their kids and sort of traverse COVID-19. So, I think you guys have done a good job.
I do think so too.
Yep. So hopefully next year, E3 will happen in LA, but we'll see about that. So let's talk about what we were playing. Rick, what have you been up to?
So I forget what brought it on, but I think me and Shalene were talking about We're Alive, the podcast that we love.
I thought you
very
said it
much.
was the fried chicken. Sorry. Too far? Too far.
I mean, I know what you're referencing, but I missed the joke. So anyway, and I was like, man, it's about time for my annual listen of We're Alive. It's been a while since I've listened to the full thing. And so I started it back up again, and I was like, man, I really want to play a game, like a zombie survival horror game, where you have to take care of a community and do salvaging runs and look out for zombies and stuff. That's like not an MMO, because like DayZ was kind of like that, War Z, stuff like that. Dave Infamy. No, that's not right. But anyway, like there's a bunch of MMOs that focus on that, but it's full of hackers and it's just not fun to play by yourself. And it's just, yeah, it's a pain, and they're not very good either. So I did some Googling and I found that like State of Decay was the thing that apparently I had missed. And State of Decay is multiplayer only in the sense it's co-op, but essentially you start a community, you can swap between the people in your community, and you have to manage your food, medicine, ammo, and like different like if you are working with like it's a third person shooter, and if like you have a person that's out doing a bunch of stuff, they'll eventually get fatigued and get tired, so then you have to rest them and then take over another character, and they each have like separate skills you level up. So like
Mm-hmm.
fighting
Mm-hmm.
or shooting or metalworking utilities, things like that. And that allows you to expand your base differently. Um, you know, the and you just go out and hunt for supplies, take out zombie hordes, and generally just survive. And it's single player. And I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted. And so it's that's what I've been playing because it's so much fun to just like try to do these little bounty missions that are put out. And like the thing is, it's not so much content that you get lost in the grind.
Mm.
And so like there's like other people groups, other enclaves that you do missions for to keep them happy, or you can recruit one of them to join your community,
Yeah.
and then you can find another base area to like build a bigger base.
Yeah.
Um, and that sort of thing. You get vehicles that you can upgrade. Um, make them better. You can run over zombies and stuff. There's like special zombies that you have to look out for, and as the story progresses, zombies become not the main threat, but then other people become a threat. And so I completed the storyline in one of the maps, and now I'm on a different map, kind of restarting the community. Because like the idea is like you secure one little area or make it livable ish, and then you move on to the next to try to like do that sort of thing. So that's like all I've been playing because it's been fun. And plus, I've been really wanting a game that I could kind of not really think about too much, but like be interactive with, but also like watch TV at the same time. Because like I
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to zen out for a little bit because I've spent so much time playing Mass Effect. Um,
That's why I
I just
play.
needed a little bit of a
That's why I play simulators.
yeah.
It's like,
Oh
you know,
yeah, and
I
so like I've been
yeah.
watching Burn Notice again while playing this game, but also Mass Effect. I'm on Mass Effect 3 now. I beat Mass Effect
Okay.
2.
Okay.
And I'm currently kind of taking a break from that, but I need to get back to it. But I've just been sucked on State of Decay 2 because it's just so much fun, and also
Yeah.
it's
Have you been
free.
playing with other people then?
No, I was gonna say I don't have anyone to play
He
with.
hasn't been cheating on us.
No,
We're good, Shalene.
those are cool friends. But it's free on Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass, you can get it for free, and you can join me and my awesome girl named can't remember her name, but she's like a sheriff. She's awesome. So she's like the leader of my communities.
Cool.
That's what I've been playing. What about you, Mr. Vendor?
I've been playing a whole lot of random things. I haven't had much time this week to play games, but I did play a lot of games the week prior. Oh my god. So remember when I told you guys about my trees, how I planted these little
Yeah.
trees and I had these little saplings and they
Yes.
were so cute and I was sending you pictures like you actually cared. But it wasn't that big of a deal. They're freaking massive. They're so huge and they have outgrown their space where I planted them and I love them and I just want to plant trees everywhere now. Yeah, that's my update on Farm Sim. Oh, we did buy some new land as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, we bought some new fields, which I have a ton of grass to cut now, and I love it. It's great. I cut all the ditches, and it's awesome. I have this industrial mower. It's fantastic. As I told you guys before, I booted up Red Dead, right? Because we had this whole catastrophic PC failure, and I lost my Red Dead save. I've started over again, but this time I'm actually trying to hunt and trap as I go through the story. Because last time I kind of finished the story, and then I went back and tried to do the trapping, and it was really hard. So I'm trying to do it just sort of as I go through the story, and it's really great. But my install is a little bit buggy. There's kind of some random things happening. So I rode into the town of Valentine. And you know how there's like the main saloon where you can go and play poker, but then there's that other saloon off to the side where you can like stab your hand with a knife.
Yes.
So I'm like riding by, right? And when I'm weird, like it's like horse simulator for me. When I'm riding through the town, I have to say good morning and hi to everybody because it's like a thing. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm riding by this.
That is so wholesome.
Yeah.
So wholesome.
I even talked to the horses.
I love that you're just riding through the town and you're like, howdy, man.
In first person on my horse. It's awesome. Very immersive. Especially for hunting and trapping. So I'm going past the saloon, right? And I turn over. I'm like, howdy, stranger. And the guy he's like, oh, good morning or whatever. I look at him. He's standing on the front porch, but like it's only the top half of his body. So like the rest of his body is clipped through the porch of the saloon, and he's just like there, and he's like, hi. And it was like, okay, is anyone else? You guys see this? Like what? Yeah, weird things are happening. I went back to my camp that's outside of Valentine, and I slept, and then I woke up, and when I wake up in the morning at my camp, I like to get my coffee, and then I head over to the rocks, and I watch the sunrise where the mountains are. It's very nice. And because Red Dead time is like extra speed, it's like the sun rises in like 2 minutes. So, you know, yeah. So I pull out my coffee mug, I pour my coffee, but for some reason I can't get up from the fire and walk away with my coffee like you normally can do. So anyways, I go over to the rocks. He still has the animation like he's holding the cup, but the cup's not there. But I can still drink from the coffee. And there's steam coming out. But there's no cup there. It was awesome. Anyways, so I finished drinking the coffee, and then the cup shows up. And the cup is there, and he doesn't drop the cup. Arthur would not let go of the cup. I sat him down at the fire, and he's like sitting there, and then like the cup is just like in his hand. It's just there. And then like I go and I walk out and I like pull out my pistol, and it's like the cup and the pistol is combined into one thing, and it's like this cup pistol, and it was just like, I don't know. I think I need to verify my game files.
I love that. I want a cup pistol.
Yeah. So Red Dead's been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I've also been enjoying the new American Truck Simulator multiplayer, which I've talked about before, but Ravensview and I have been doing these massive rig moves where we move huge pieces of equipment on these crazy like 19 axle trailers through logging areas and mining through the mountains, and it's kind of crazy. So that's been a lot of fun. We've been doing that on weekends in the mornings and like having our coffee and just like, you know, talking about the world. The Bus, which is a new game that came out not too long ago that I bought and tried, and I was like, it needs some more work. They pushed another big update, and it's now in beta. Vastly improved. Yes. Very good now. I enjoy it a lot. The people are still very, like, animatronic when they move. And the world, it's based on the same world as Fernbus Simulator, which, if you recall, is based in Germany. So like all of the advertisements are in German. The radio is in German. When people speak to you, it's in German. It's just awesome. It's very immersive. All I hear is Rick voices in his German accent the whole time. It's awesome. So because of the bus updates, I was like, you know what? I should probably fire up Fernbus Simulator. So I fire Fernbus Simulator up. Well, they pushed a new update, and it's even better. It's like so good. I love it. And I've been driving all over Germany. I went to Berlin and Luxembourg and Hexenstein and all these other places. So, yeah. There's something different about Fernbus Simulator. And I think what it is there's passengers. So in American Truck Sim or like Farm Sim, it's just you and you're just like ripping around and doing stuff and whatever. But in Fernbus Simulator, there's like 40-some people on board. If you smash into a guardrail, that's not going to be a good thing.
Do they all start screaming?
Yes! They're like, where did you get your license? I'm calling the company. This is terrible. And
that's
it's all
wonderful.
It's all in German, so you get it in subtitles, right? So it's like, yeah. Fernbus Simulator is like really immersive. So like when you start a new job or a new journey or route or whatever, you got to get in your bus. You got to turn it on. You got to get all the switches turned on, like the AC and the Wi-Fi and the bathroom sign and the route sign, and you got to raise the bus, and then you got to like close the door and get out of there and go to the terminal where you got to pick up the people, and then you got to like check the people in with your little smartphone. And some of them have invalid tickets, so you got to like tell them to get off the bus.
Vendor, did I tell you that I got to test drive a bus last week?
You did say something about this.
Huh.
And
I did.
I was waiting to
yeah.
ask you about it.
It was so fun. I got to test drive a bus.
Like like what kind of bus? Like a school bus or a city bus or like?
Well, it was not a huge bus. It was like a 16 passenger bus, I believe.
Not very big.
So not huge. But I work for a city, right? For a municipality. And we were shopping for a new bus for the senior center.
Right.
Basically a field trip bus for the senior center.
Okay.
And so
we came on a rocket car.
So they're doing the demonstration of the bus, and they're showing us all the features on the bus, and I'm like, okay guys, we should test drive the bus. And I look at the senior citizens ladies thinking that they're going to want to test drive the bus because they're the ones who are going to be driving this bus after we buy it. And they were like, you can test drive the bus. And I was like, I volunteer as tribute. I was so excited. So like I jumped in there and like opened the door of the bus, and I'm like, everybody in. And we loaded up and drove around town, and it was amazing.
Oh, that's so good.
It was so fun.
I love that Joshy's in the chat, because I gotta say, I was channeling my inner Joshy in the bus update, because I was like driving around, and I'm like driving through town, and there's in Germany, well, in Europe in general, the road lanes are like this. And like in the US, the road lanes are like this, right? So I was threading the needle, man. Like, it was crazy. And I was channeling my inner Joshy, and it was fantastic. He would be so proud. Anyways, Fern Bus Simulator was a lot of fun. I'm probably going to do some more in that. The physics of it are a lot different than American Truck Sim. The bus just kind of like floats across the road. It's very like weird. And it's just big. And you pick up passengers. Yeah, Joshy's asking in the chat if you pick up passengers. So you can create your own route. And Fern Bus is different than City Bus. Like, it's coach simulator, right? So it's the big coach buses. But you can go to all the different, like, you can set your own route, and you go to the different stations. And each station is different, has a different layout. The way you pull in is like different at different stations and things like that. So yeah, so it's been like really immersive playing a lot of like sim games to just try to like cope with the stress that exists within my personal life. And then Shalene and I did a thing.
We did. It was wonderful.
Well, I don't know if it took a lot of convincing. I just had to show her a picture of frogs that you could ride, and she was like instantly on board.
Yes.
But I've been bugging Shalene to get It Takes Two for a few weeks now. And It Takes Two is a co-op adventure sort of puzzle platformer. And we dove into this on, when did we play that? Monday, I think?
Monday or Tuesday, I don't recall.
I think it was Monday. It's awesome.
It's really good.
I don't even know where do we start? It was so good. So, okay, so the backstory is that you're like this, the backstory is that there's this family of 3, and the man and wife are fighting, and they end up deciding to tell the daughter that they're getting a divorce. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't played it. And so the daughter like has this like thing, existential crisis, and she runs out to the barn that's in their yard, and she pulls out these creepy like voodoo dolls of her parents, and we're like, what is this witchcraft? Like this she's like 8, what's going on here? And she's like, basically she's just like, please don't get divorced, and then she cries onto the dolls, and then this magic thing happens, And suddenly the parents become the dolls. And Shalene and I have to play the parents. So I'm the guy and she's the girl, and we have to traverse the barn to go through this whole story. And yeah. What do you...
There's a magic book.
Oh my god.
And he's amazing. He's such a troll. The magic book, I adore him. He's so funny. He has
Yeah.
a ridiculous accent.
The Book of Love.
Yes, the Book of Love. He has a ridiculous accent, and he has shiny eyebrows, and his arms and legs are little torn bits of page.
It's
It's
great.
so cute.
It's so great. And he has like a really thick Spanish accent.
But it's like the worst Spanish accent. It's like
Yeah.
real bad.
It's
Did-
like I can't
So-
even do it, but it's yeah.
Go
Did
ahead.
I ever send you the song, The Touchy?
I don't know if you did or
there's
not.
this. Okay, so there's the intro. I have to send it to you, but like it's this dude with this crazy thick accent, and he's like I call it the touchy.
It's like that.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what the book accent. He's like, I will teach you how to love each other again. And they're all
like
like, what is this? Who? What is this book? Like, it's yeah.
His accent reminds me a little bit of the shrimp from Muppet Treasure Island.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Great. That's who I want for like a love guru.
Yes.
That shrimp.
So yeah, so this book shows up and he's like, I think the story or the progression of the game is chapters of the Book of Love.
Yes.
So I think we did like 4 chapters without actually knowing that we did 4 chapters, but it was like a lot of fun.
It was so fun.
Like there's like, you have to like do all these different puzzles, and there's like, you think that the game is really endearing until you get totally eviscerated by some
Yes.
gears or like this light
so
bulb
vicious.
that electrifies you into a pile of ash. Like, it's crazy. And you have to work together too. So
And it also gives you the opportunity to troll each other a little bit. Sort of like, I don't know if you've played the Portal 2 co-op, but you know how you can like step off the button at just the right time and your co-op partner gets crushed into oblivion. I
It's
may or may
kinda-
not have done that once or twice, a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really hope that you actually like one of the puzzles is to tango. I really
Well, okay, so there are some mini games,
Mhm.
and one of the mini games was Whack-A-Mole.
And Vendor was the mole.
So in the later chapter, you actually get tools that you can use. So Shalene got the head of this hammer, which is like very Shalene. And I got this set of nails that I just like throw as like a spear. And so the Whack-A-Mole game is basically Shalene trying to smash me with the hammer.
It was so fun.
And then there's another mini game where it's like targets that I have to throw nails at. And
Or I
so-
can smash him with the hammer
yeah,
alternately.
so Shalene's down in this pit with the targets, and she has to smash them as they light up, and I'm up on this platform, and I got to throw the nails at the... So that was fun. The mini games are really cool. I like that you can replay them, too.
Mhm.
But the adventures are so much fun, and, like,
It really is.
there's, like, things about it, like, you're really, really tiny, so you're, like, in this giant place, and so you got to, like, crawl through, like, tubes, and there's, like, vacuums
There's
that...
definitely some borrowers vibes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And there's like vacuums, so you have to like get sucked up a tube and then like get blown out the other end onto some platform, but you have to like get your partner to try to like aim in some way, and like there was a few times where Shalene just like shot me into some like saw blades by accident. I think my favorite thing so far is probably the fish Roombas.
Oh, they're so cute. They are so cute. They're Roombas, but they have little fins on them.
They're so
cute.
adorable, and they're floating through the air like they're steps that you can jump from one to the next. And they've got these little fins that are like this, and all you hear when you step on them is it's adorable.
And the game has boss fights, which I was not really expecting. And these boss fights are no joke.
They are so hard. They're so hard. The first one we had to fight was a vacuum, which wasn't actually that bad. Like, I think we kind of
After we figured it out, the vacuum was not bad. But the toolbox was pretty tricky.
The toolbox was so tough. Yeah, the toolbox was like, he throws nails at you, but you're on this like sheet of plywood, and like there's nothing below it. If you fall off, you die. He throws nails onto the plywood. You can get impaled by a nail.
It is brutal when you get impaled by a nail.
And then he also saws off part of the plywood, so the plywood like continually gets smaller. And then he also has this like this drill bit that comes in and drills a giant hole in the plywood,
like an auger.
Like an auger. So yeah, that was fun. It took us a lot of tries, probably like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, it took us a while to beat the toolbox, but it was so fun though. I don't remember the last time that I laughed this much playing a video game. I was just in hysterics, and I was screaming at Vendor like the whole time.
The puzzles are really fun. Like there's a few things where I have to like throw a nail and like stick it into a board so that Shalene can like jump to it and swing with the hammer to jump to the next platform.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cool that you have to help each other. I can definitely see this being a game that we do another playthrough of and like stream it so people can watch it. Yeah.
It was super fun. Super fun.
It looks like claymation almost.
Well, what's the dude's name? What are their character names?
Carl and May.
Corey, Carl.
Mine is May, and your character is something with a C.
Thought
it was
Cody.
Yes.
Cody. So Cody is a little clay doll, and May is this knitted doll. She's
wooden.
She's wooden, but she's got like knitted clothing.
Stuff. Yeah.
They're adorable.
So cute.
Yeah. And May is an engineer, and Cody is a stay-at-home dad, I think.
Yeah, I appreciate that they subverted the gender roles there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's good. It was so good.
Anyways, that's my gameplay. Segue into Shalene.
Lovely. Well, of course, the highlight of my gameplay this week was It Takes Two with Vendor. That was such a good time. I also checked out a new game called The Dark Side Detective. I picked this up on Xbox. It is a pixel art point-and-click mystery story with supernatural elements and also an underlying like buddy cop humor situation. So you play as this supernatural investigator, and your partner is just an ordinary cop, and he thinks this is all ridiculous. And as you progress through the story, you see that there's a lot of Easter eggs. The commander, your superior, is named Scully, so that's of course an X-Files reference. And they sort of treat this guy a lot similarly to the way that Mulder is treated by his colleagues in the X-Files.
Spooky Mulder.
And I saw a couple of Doctor Who references, and there's all kinds of funny little Easter eggs. And the dialogue is really clever and cute. It's not a super challenging game, which is just what I needed at the time, like exactly what I needed. So I look forward to finishing this one off. It's a cute little game.
Nice.
Of course, Animal Crossing New Horizons is a constant part of my life. And this month, we're taking anniversary pictures of alpacas, because of course we are. So you go to these alpacas, and their names are Reese and Cyrus. And these alpacas are deeply in love. They're a married couple, and they need help taking their anniversary photos. So you have to set up a little scene for them to pose in, and then you take the photos, and you show her the photos and see if she's happy. And they're adorable. And the Cyrus, the husband, he will craft furniture for you. So It's a fun time. It's really cute. And I've started doing the Fallout 76 homework again. I haven't been very diligent about keeping up with this season in terms of the homework, but I realized we're probably getting pretty close. And I was scrolling through the rewards, and there's a really neat jacket at like level 97. So I'm determined to get there. I may have to spend some trust fund atoms, but we will see.
Yeah. Nice.
That's
What level
my
are you now?
gameplay. I'm in the 40s.
Ooh, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, that's a show. Don't forget, you guys. We hope that you enjoyed your evening. Don't forget, next Friday is another wonderful episode of That Fallout Show. The show is sponsored. Our shows are sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you would like to try out the new We Just Love Games Way Tanango blend, you can go over to oakandcrow.com. $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. You can also email us at info@wejustlovegames.com. Leave us a 5-star review shout-out on any of the platforms that we're on. You can tweet at us at We Just Love Games, at Shalene L, and Rick at Rick McVick, and myself at Vandertron N. We're also on the Facebooks, facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames, facebook.com/groups/WeJustLoveGames. We are also on Discord, and we record the show live every Friday, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. And you can find recordings of the show on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Don't forget to like and subscribe and review the show. Leave us a 5-star review shout-out, and we will mention your message to the listeners. Thank you guys for listening. Shalene, last word?
Oofda.